It's 8 o'clock on a Sunday evening. Regular crowd shuffles in. There's an old man, he's sitting next to me, making love to his tonic and gin. He says, son, can you play me a memory? I'm not really sure how it goes, but it's sad and it's sweet, and I knew it complete when I wore a younger man's clothes. La la la, la la la, la la la, la la la, la la. Sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sing us a song tonight. Got us feeling all right. Now John at the bar, he's a friend of mine. He gets my drinks for free, and he's quick with a joke, or he'll light up your smoke. But there's some place that he'd rather be. He said, John, I believe this is killing me, as the smile ran away from his face. Oh, I know I could be a big movie star if I could get out of this place. La la la, la la la, la la la, la la la. Hope you are. You've got us feeling all right. Now Paul, he's a real estate novelist who never had time for a wife, and he's talking with Davy, who's still in the Navy and probably will be for life. And the waitress is practicing politics as the businessman slowly gets stoned. Well, they're sharing a drink they call loneliness, but it's better than drinking alone. La la la, la la la, la la la, la la la. Tonight, well, we're all in the mood for a melody. Are you? Are you? You've got us feeling all right. It's a pretty good crowd. You see, you started. You started.
I started.
I'm in the middle of a song.
Just
what
waving.
is wrong with you?
Just,
every week you do the same thing.
Yeah, I'm just
you start
waving. I'm waving
and that
at my
distracts
fans.
them from looking at me. Because the main attraction is JV in the Steinway Room. It's not JV. You have your own show soon, later
just waving
in the
at
year.
my fans.
You'll be waving at all 5 of them very soon. Okay, in the Northwest, women's meetings in the Northwest. You'll be doing them, and I promise you that the 399ers will be accompanying you. Rob Barron is practicing the piano as we speak. He's playing it tonight. Along,
he's singing along.
Stuart is just playing with his trumpet. I mean, I don't want him playing in your concert. I don't.
Why?
What?
He's very good.
Well, you know, he's good in.
He's very good. He was good enough to join your Christmas Christmas band.
Good, but I better not diss him.
No, better not diss him. He's very good.
Do you want to come for Christmas? And the days we'll need the days for Christmas as well. We'll need their. It's gonna be the JV community choir, isn't it? All of you are going to be joining the Christmas choir. Anyway, we're being a little bit previous. It's not. Do you know that about 2 weeks ago, I got rid of my Christmas tree? Do you know that?
It's still outside the door, though.
Outside the back door. And it's joined last year's.
Are you waiting for it to walk up the garden to join last year's?
Last year's. So we've got 2 Christmas trees in the garden, and we love our garden, but it's really quite bad. And anyway, it's a pretty good crowd for a Sunday.
It is. It's a good crowd. What was that?
I don't know. It was.
That was a little bit of jazz in the piano man. Okay.
It doesn't matter. Jazz, you can just play what you like, and people go, "Oh, that's nice. I like the improvisation." And the manager, she gives me a smile. What do we think about our hair? I want hearts and everything. Look at that. Look at what she's doing. Look, she's doing all that kind of touching the hair. Oh, see, I cut my hair. When I say my hair, I mean the singular.
I've got the Cruella de Vil stripe down the front.
Yes, it's very fetching. When's your appointment?
April the 13th, I think, when she.
What, 2022?
Oh no, don't.
We're bound to go into another lockdown because you know that's going to happen.
I'm
joking, everybody. All right, we're not going into another lockdown. 28 million people vaccinated.
Yeah.
And the manager, she gives me a smile. That's a smile.
That's a smile, is it?
Smile.
Cacciaturian.
Yeah, I did. I played a piece.
Oh,
I did.
sorry, I said it now. I'm so sorry.
Just to show that
that's very impressive. How long is it since you played that?
Oh, years.
About 35 years.
She knows. Because she
still
knows
singing
it
that
is
song,
me they've been coming to see.
You've only been going
to forget about life for a while. And the piano sounds like a carnival. And the microphone, it smells like a beer. And they sit at the bar and put bread in my jar. I say, man, what are you doing here? La 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 la. Sing it now. Sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sue, come on, sing. Sing us a song tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a melody, and you've got us feeling it goes. Big applause, big hearts, loads of it. I want to see them now. Here we go. 8. Don't say it. Just don't say it.
What?
And as the chord
It
dies, we welcome you to
The
another
audience
JV live from the Steinway Room with Sue. And great special guests we've got for you tonight.
We have.
Who have we got, Sue?
We have Colin Richards from CAP. He joined us in
What's
the past.
CAP, Sue?
Christians Against
Thank
Poverty.
you.
So it's a great organisation that helps people who are in deep trouble financially and gives them a way out, which
So
we all
stay
need
tuned.
at some
And if
point.
you're that person, you need help.
Yeah.
Listen carefully. This man
Colin's
is
been
a
on
beautiful,
before, but
beautiful
this
man.
time we get to see him because he'll be Zooming with us. And then later on we'll have the lovely Pam Rhodes of
TV personality and author.
Songs of Praise, Fame and so on. And she's on for a bit of a chat later. So what a lovely evening. That and JV singing. And this song is for a number of people who are struggling a bit with life at the moment. I'm thinking of you, particularly Liz Ormiston, and of course Cindy, and anyone else who is just finding that they need to be raised up a bit at the moment. This one is for you.
When I'm down and oh my soul is so weary, when troubles come and my heart burden be, then I am still and wait here in the silence until you come and sit a while with me. There is no life without its hunger. Each restless heart beats so imperfectly. But when you come and I'm filled with wonder, sometimes I think I glimpse eternity. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. Then I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. Raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. Then I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up to more than I can
Beautiful. Beautiful singing, beautiful playing. Thank
That
you.
was nice,
Very
wasn't it?
appropriate for lots and lots of people
Now.
tonight. Lots of us. This is for Lindsay Frost, asked for by Rachel. Well, she asked for something musical theatre, so we thought this would work, and I think it's a lovely version of it, so enjoy.
There, out in the darkness, a fugitive running, fallen from grace, fallen from grace. God be my witness, I never shall yield till we come face to face. Till we come face to face. He knows his way in the dark. Mine is the way of the Lord. And those who follow the path of the righteous shall have their reward. And if they fall as Lucifer fell, the flame, the soul. Stars in your multitudes, scarce to be counted, filling the darkness with order and light. You are the sentinel, silent and sure, keeping watch in the night, keeping watch in the night. You know your place in the sky, you know your course and your aim, and each in your season returns and returns, and is always the same. And if they fall as Lucifer fell, you fall in flame. And so it has been, so it is written on the doorway to paradise. And those who falter and those who fall must pay the price. Lord, let me find him, and I may see him safe behind bars. I will never rest till then. This I swear, this I swear by the stars.
Wow. I'm sure that you are finding that amazing where you are, but I have to say that in this room, that was absolutely incredible. I have to say that no one sings that as well as you.
Stop it, Sue.
No, I'm biased.
You're
but
only
I think
saying that because
I'm
it's
sure
true.
a couple of hundred people would agree with me.
Um,
Oh, and actually, that should have been for Grace, because Grace Stars, you should have stars for your birthday. It's your birthday last Friday, so I hope you had a lovely day. And that one was also for you.
And can I also point out that that was from an album we did in Nashville, in Tennessee.
The Nashville one.
And we did that, all of those on that one, like this last one, and the one that you're about to get released on Easter Sunday, thanks to the beautiful work of so many people got involved in this.
People.
And Claire and Rachel have been involved, and you're going to see a great song after we've had the interview with, and it's the debut of the song here with me singing it.
Just after Colin.
Just after Colin, and that'll be the first time you've seen it. We want you to share it, look at it, share it amongst all your friends. We're going to post it on Facebook, on YouTube, and we want you to share this song of optimism. This album really, a lot of the two albums were reflective songs. A lot of them were reflective because that's who I am. Often the best songs are the saddest songs, aren't they? The ones we remember. But this one, I'm going to just do snippets of the album. The new album comes out, and John Greenwood, you will be the first in at the post, okay? Hold on. I was just looking at my music award. I just saw it here, and I just thought you were the music.
It's getting very mucky with all your fingerprints on it. Oh.
Okay. That should be fine. There you go. It's made it as clear as mud. Can you see that?
No, they can't see that.
You can't see that. There we go. And there it is when you look at it that sideways. And but that's all thanks to you guys. And I'm going to sing a song.
Sing some snippets.
I'll sing a little snippet. This one, for example, I do this live. Old Man River, that old man river, he must know something. Don't say nothing. He just keeps rolling, keeps on rolling along. He don't plant potatoes, he don't plant cotton. Them that plants them is soon forgotten. Oh, but Old Man River just keeps rolling along. You and me, sweat and strain, body all aching and rags with pain. Tote that barge, lift that bale. You get a little drunk and you land in jail. Weary and sick of trying, I'm tired of living, and I'm scared of dying. Oh, but Old Man River, he just keeps rolling along, just keeps rolling And then there's this one.
This beautiful one is also on the album, Jonathan's version of Steal Away.
And I play this one as well. So these two I play on the piano and sing. The rest... I ain't got long to stay here. My Lord, He calls me by the thunder trumpet songs within my soul. And I ain't got long to stay. Steal away to Jesus. Steal away home. Ooh, 'cause I ain't got long to stay here. Much shortened version of. And then this one. What a difference a day made. 24 little hours brought the sun and the flowers where there used to be rain. My yesterday was blue, dear. Today I'm a part of you, dear. My lonely nights are through, dear. Since you said you were mine, oh mine. What a difference a day makes. There's a rainbow before me. Skies above can be stormy. Since that moment of bliss, that thrilling kiss is heaven when you find romance on the menu. What a difference a day makes, and the difference is you.
And I'm going to dedicate that one to Helen and Philip Coleman. You celebrate your 49th wedding anniversary on Thursday the 25th. So what a difference a day made 49 years ago, and many congratulations and inching your way towards your golden anniversary. So happy anniversary, Helen and Philip.
Now I'm going to sing a bit of a surprising song leading into our guests today. And this is, I hadn't thought about it until you suggested it from Lou Day.
Yes, so this is a happy birthday to Lou for you. This is from Peter and Dan and Mark and Bess and the three little Dagoos for you as well. And it's your birthday on Tuesday, so this one is for you, Lou.
I've just praised it a little. This one is for Colin, who I know is watching, and it leads right into you, Colin. All right, here we go. If I were a rich man, yada deedle deedle ba 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 deedle deedle dum. All day long I biddy biddy bum. If I were a wealthy man, I wouldn't have to work hard. Yada deedle deedle ba 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 deedle deedle dum. If I were a bitty bitty rich deedle 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 man, I'd build a big tall house with rooms by the dozen right in the middle of the town. a fine tin roof with real wooden floors below, and there would be man, yada diddle diddle ba 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 diddle diddle dum. All day long I'd biddy biddy bum. If I were a wealthy man, I wouldn't have to work hard. Yada diddle diddle ba 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 diddle diddle dum. If I were a biddy biddy rich, yiddle diddle 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 man, I'd see my wife, my Goldie, looking like a rich man's wife with a proper double chin, supervising meals to her heart's delight. I'd see her putting on airs and strutting like a peacock. Oh, what a happy mood she's in, screaming at the servants day and night. If I were rich, I'd have the time that I lack to sit in the synagogue and pray. I love that bit. And maybe have a seat by the eastern wall, and I discuss the holy books with the learned men several hours of the day. That would be the sweetest thing of all. If I were a rich man, yada diddle diddle ba 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 diddle diddle dum. All day long I'd biddle biddle bum. If I were a wealthy man, I wouldn't have to work hard. Yada diddle diddle ba 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 diddle diddle dum. If I were a bitty bitty rich bitty da 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 man. And moving directly into...
Well, now aren't we going to Little Filmette?
Film, that's what we're saying.
Yes.
Into a lovely film that has been sent to us by Colin. Have a look, and we go straight into Colin after this.
It was very bleak. There was nothing to look forward to at all, and nobody that could help me, it seemed. I wasn't sleeping, I wasn't eating. My mental health by this point was really starting to suffer. My mind was constantly thinking, how am I going to get through tomorrow? What are we going to eat tomorrow? It was horrendous, actual horrendous. And a very depressing, knowing there was no light at the end of the tunnel for you. It was soul destroying, actual soul destroying to find yourself in that position. This is my life. I know it is a pile of death letters. Colin had phoned me and he had said, I will make an appointment and come out to the house. Was I fine with that? And I says, that's fantastic, absolute fantastic that somebody was actually going to come to me. Made me feel really comfortable right away, very non-judgmental, and cracked a few jokes, and we actually, by the time Colin was finished that night, I was laughing. Basically told me, get everything that you've had in the last couple of years and just give it all to me. Colin also told me as well that they would deal with any phone calls. I was just to hand the number to them and explain to them, that Cap is going to speak for me. So that worry was out my mind as well. I didn't have to take any phone calls and explain anything to people. So I think that after even that one visit, I felt there was hope at the end of that. It was such a relief for somebody else to be able to to sort through this mess and make sense of it. And I was actually, it was hard to keep to the budget. It really was a struggle, but I managed to get through and I managed to keep to the budget. I remember an envelope coming through from the postman. I ran down the stairs and there was a confirmation that, you know, you were debt free. You finally don't owe anybody any money. And it was the first thing when I got my letter. I was sitting out and the first thing was being aware of the birds singing in the trees and the sun was shining and there was just a calmness. And I thought, for the first time in my life, I've actually got a life. And it was the best thing. It was the best feeling in my life. Really, it was like I unzipped myself and that's the old Christina there and this is the new Christina here because I just not that person anymore. Definitely not that person anymore. Life's great and I'm living it and loving it. Absolutely. Yeah.
Gone.
Well, we have. Thank you for that video, Colin.
You're very
Colin
welcome.
Richards.
Hello, Colin.
Hello, everybody. Hi. Welcome. Good to be back.
It's good to see you, actually. Good to see you, not just hear you.
So we thank the tech team for enabling us to do live Zoom now on the show and be able to see people. And it's great. Pam Rhodes said she has to do her makeup and hair now.
But you did yours
I
earlier.
see that you
Spent hours.
Yeah.
I did go back downstairs earlier and Fiona said, brush your hair before you go.
I did see you run out just before. Was that to do a wee? No.
No, it was to say to Fiona that it was on downstairs too loud.
Okay.
So
Okay. Colin Richards from Christians Without Poverty, CAP. It's quite a useful little acronym, isn't it, CAP?
it is. Yes.
You said to me just before when we were talking about it that you used it quite successfully in a promotional thing, didn't you? What did you say? How many for children?
Yeah, we did a promotional stall at an event, and the idea was to see how many caps, hats, head coverings, but obviously caps was hooked it onto that someone could balance on the top of their head before it all fell off, and that was an interesting hook to get people to ask.
Well, if you'd done that, the Christian Brethren would have done very well with that. I'm just saying, anybody out there, we love you all. You know, but just, now.
Has to be a Sunday though. Only on a.
That's right. Of course, exactly. But Colin, thank you for bringing that video to us, which you suggested, and I it's been very useful actually. Tell us a little bit about where we are in the process right now. I played that song, "If I Were a Rich Man." So many people. I remember being in a program, a God program, television slot over in North London, and there were a lot of very poor people there. And one person said, "What will be like? What would you like us to pray for you?" And people shouted out. A woman from the audience shouted, "Prosperity," because what they've now and what they didn't mean was millions of pounds. What they prayed for was money to live. That they are just, in a lot of communities, living on the edge of despair and poverty when no money and nothing. Tell us the situation right now.
Well, I think last November when I spoke, at that time, obviously we'd gone through the summer and we were moving into second or third lockdown, whichever it was.
Yeah.
And because of the furlough schemes, because of people not spending money on holidays, and because of a lot of forbearance by lenders and by debt collectors and by the banks and the credit card companies, and payment holidays with mortgages, etc., there was almost a false dawn about what was going to happen about this, and it gave people a disproportionate sense of comfort that they were okay.
Yeah.
What we're now seeing, and particularly Christmas is always quiet for us leading up to Christmas because people are Christmas. But what we've seen coming into January, February, it was beginning to pick up. March, I mean, we're only 21 days into it. Our first 5 days of March, our first 4 days of March, we have 5 clients referred to our centre. Unheard of, unprecedented.
Wow.
And our waiting list rapidly moved into April straight away.
Yes.
But having said that, we always make contact with our client as soon as the referral comes through from our team in Bradford, where all the calls go to. And we will always have that conversation with the client, because very often we find that people have left it until it's become a crisis point. They're suddenly realizing that in the past they've always been fine, they've always been okay, they've always had an income. People are eating through their savings, and then they've eaten through the payment holidays, and then they've eaten through the credit card. That's maxed out. They've maybe gone and got a second credit card, because at the moment their credit rating's still okay.
Yes.
Bills up to now. The credit card, they've eaten through the overdraft, and now suddenly the rooster's come home to roost, and that's the point. So we are finding people coming to us who say, my gas and electricity meter are empty. They're just empty.
Yeah.
Nothing. I've got no gas, got no electricity.
So Colin, can I just
straight
ask,
away.
when someone comes to you in that position, when their credit cards are maxed out and their payment holidays are all ending, and suddenly, as you say, that it's come to roost for them, what can you do for them? Is it not just too late at that point?
Oh no, it's never too late. It is too late, because we always say to people, if you'd have come earlier, it's never too late. It is never too late to start that journey out today. It's never too early to start the journey out today. But what we will do is have the conversation with the client to get that initial understanding. Our team in Bradford pick up some of that information, but we then have that more in-depth conversation with the client. So what we will first of all look at is, are there any immediate life-threatening, life-changing issues that are on the radar? So it could be gas and leaking. So particularly during the winter, these cold months. So if necessary, we will put money on a gas electricity meter. If people are on direct debits, then whilst the debt is there, there's no risk of being disconnected. Against all sorts of myths, an electricity company can't just disconnect you. You can be a bit behind with your bills.
Is that right? Oh, right.
They can't do it. There is a lot.
That's so good to hear from people. That's so good to hear from people right now.
But the problem is that where people are on prepaid meters, where you take the card to the and top up, or you do, but you are prepaying for the power you're using, then what we're finding is we're getting people coming to us where that's run out. Now, all the utility companies are also tasked with supporting vulnerable people in that situation. So we're also finding people have been to their electricity gas supplier, had that conversation, and they can put an emergency supply onto the meter, £20 to £25, but that becomes debt. And then once that's used up, you can go back to the electricity company so many times and say, I've got no money. And in fairness to the energy companies, they have done a sterling job in supporting people, but at the end of the day, you have to pay for power.
It's a business.
It's a business. It's a business. And so in those instances, we will get people come to us and say, my gas meter's out. What we can do as CAP is we can engage immediately to meet that immediate need. So it could be gas and electricity. So we will go to a client's house. If it's on certain utility companies, they're great because we can do it online. So we get the account number of the client, we get their post, and we can do it online. In effect, we pay for it for them online. So it tops it up on the meter automatically. Others, we will go to their house, we will pick up the key or the card or whatever, and we will go and top it up and give it them back to them. So that's dealing with an immediate emergency need. We hold stocks of food parcels at all our debt coaches. In Kirkintilloch, there's myself, I'm the debt centre manager, and I had two fantastic debt coaches, Irene and Scott, who we all hold food bank parcels from our church food bank. So that although the food bank's open Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we've always got a packet here that we could pick up and give to a client, meeting the immediate
need.
So
then hopefully what can happen is that then Bradford puts together the package of ideas financially that could get them back on the straight and narrow. Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah. So the next step then would be, and the other immediate need might be, used to be eviction. There is a moratorium on evictions at the moment.
Yes.
It doesn't stop the threat of the letters. There could be sort of an arrestment on a bank account or on a universal credit payment, salary. So again, we can intervene depending on where it's got to put brakes on those kind of things. So that's the immediate response. Next,
and
is
you have the power as CAP to do that. People listen to you, don't they?
We know the process. Certainly in Scotland, there is a process called a moratorium that we as CAP can apply for, and within 20 hours, if it's approved by the accounting bankruptcy, there is that moratorium is registered on the public register. And any creditor who is looking to take action against you, they are just referred to the moratorium, and that stops by law taking any recovery action against you. And in Scotland at the moment, that lasts for 6 months. It varies between Scotland and England, but there are processes in place that you can do that put brakes on creditors. Also, we say to clients, if your creditors contact you, tell them you're working with CAP. Because again, very often creditors will know that if they've engaged with a support agency like CAP, then that client is taking positive steps forward to resolve their debt. So again, that often, doesn't always, but that often fends off varying periods. 30 days is the norm for any creditor taking action. It varies across the industry, and the problem is there's no absolute standard across the industry, which CAP, along with people like Step Change and Citizens Advice, have been working with the government to get some standardisation across this. So that's the first step. The next step then is we then start working with the client to understand what is their financial position. So this is where the rubber hits the road, and this is where we will sit with the client, and we will take however long it takes to work our clients through to understand that, because that can itself be a very painful journey. When people are digging out letters, bank statements, letters from creditors, letters from DWP or the government for missing tax bills, all sorts of stuff. And the process of pulling out all of those letters and documents can, for people, be very, very painful. So we may take 2-3 visits before we take the client through all of that. But obviously, we're keen to get that information out. And once we've got it, we then manage that paperwork information down to our teams in Bradford. And then they start doing the number crunching down there. With the debt coaches, we're the bridge, if you like. We're regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority as debt coaches. Teams in Bradford are regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority as financial advisors. So they do the number crunching and give us the advice, and then that passes back through to ourselves.
Colin, let me just, I want everybody to go and get a piece of paper and a pen. I mean, this information is going to be available after the show on the notice board, but I'm just going to give you 10 seconds to go and get a piece of paper and a pen. And if you don't actually need this yourself, you might know someone who does need it. And we want that number, the big and bold. And what is the number? You should all have it now. You have a piece of paper and a pen. And tell us the number that they've got to ring, please, Colin.
So the number is 0800. So it's a free phone number, right? 0800.
0800.
328.
328.
0006.
0006. One more time.
So
0800.
0800 328 0006.
And they will take you on a guided tour, no doubt, once you get on there to your local branch I know people have done it. Look, Colin, we've got Pam on in a minute, and I just wanted to just could you just say just before we go on to the rest of the show, tell us just in 1 minute what a message out to people there who are suffering and in debt and worried and terrified. Just give us a pre-seed version of what you would do.
Right. So we would meet with them. We take all the paperwork, goes to our teams in Bradford. They will come up with the debt solution. There is always a solution out of debt. You may not think it, you may not know it, but the law is extensive for protecting you. There is always a solution out of debt. We would then work with you to progress your way through that solution out of debt. But what I would say is, do not delay in any account. Please, the sooner you act, the sooner we can start working with your creditors. We become the brick wall between you and your creditors, and the creditors are hammering as hard as they like. But all you have to say is, here's my account number, go and talk to Cap.
And do you know what? I've looked at this organisation. I looked at a lot of Christian organisations. I said to you before, I just can't find anything wrong with them. And I've looked, believe me, I've looked, and I thought there must be a hole in the net somewhere. And actually, go on.
I just feel that, you know, you're a fantastically approachable group of people, and that it must be so hard for people who have really found themselves through often no fault of their own in the most terrible situation. And yet you sound to me to be the kind of people that listen, that help, that understand, that there's nothing you could be told that you haven't been heard before.
We've heard it, we've seen it.
Don't be embarrassed.
No.
Colin,
we're there for everybody.
Look, I'm going to have you on again in about 2 or 3 months. Because I think that's when the rubble will be really hitting the road in terms of furlough coming to the end and everything else. I want to cement this relationship between the JV community through You've Got a Friend Trust. As you know, we try and put our arm around people, and we give them away more money, a huge amount of money this week, and helping people, and we're going to be giving money this week to that cause. And just helping people. But I know CAP is something that I recommend highly to people. And Colin is he's one of the nicest guys. And if you knew his personal story of cancer treatment, and God calling him into this, and him helping people, he's just he's one of the angels. So listen to what this man is saying. Colin, bless you. We must move on. It's such a pleasure having you.
Thank you.
Come back and see us soon.
Yeah, absolutely.
See you soon.
God bless. Cheers.
God bless.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
And Rachel, I think we're going to go straight into Just Around the Bend.
Let's do it.
Long time traveling down this hard and rocky road. We're all just trying to survive, walking together and sharing the load, doing all we can to stay alive. I believe the journey's nearly over. I believe these troubled times will end. I believe we'll find a better place just around the bend. We may be weary, and sometimes we just don't know how we can keep on keeping on. Take one day at a time and trust that history will show. When we're united, we are strong. I believe the journey's nearly over. I believe these troubled times will end. I believe we'll find a better place just around the bend. So take care of each other, for we all need the hope that heals, the love that mends. Even when the darkness is as far as we can see, the sun will shine again somewhere just around the bend. Take care of each other, for we all need the hope that heals, the love that mends. Even when the darkness is as far as we can see, the sun will shine again, I believe, just around the bend. Just around the bend. I believe the journey's nearly over. I believe the journey's nearly over. I believe these troubled times will end. I believe these troubled times will end. I believe we'll find a better place just around the bend. I believe we'll find a better place just around the bend. Just around the bend.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that new song. I want you to share that. It's a song of optimism coming out of that fantastic interview with Colin. And he just asked me, just wrote to me right now and said, could you just make sure that everybody knows this is for everybody. It's not just for Christian people, it's for anybody. Your faith, no faith, doesn't matter what you are, then just come along, apply, get onto CAP, and it will be fine. Now, this song is going out very particularly to Keith and Marilyn. Keith has been diagnosed recently with a very serious illness, and life is very, very difficult at the moment, and this song, I hope, will mean something to them. King of Kings, Majesty, God of heaven, living in me, gentle Savior, closest friend, strong deliverer, beginning and end. All within me falls at your throne, your majesty. I can but bow, I lay my all before you now. In royal robes I don't deserve, I live to serve your majesty. Earth and heaven worship you, love eternal, faithful and true, who bought the nation, ransomed souls, brought this sinner near to your throne. All within me cries out in praise, your majesty. I can but bow, I lay my all before you now. In royal robes Your Majesty. I live to serve Your Majesty. I live to serve Your Majesty. And that's particularly now, right now, for Keith and Marilyn, who are going through such difficult times, and we stand with you in your pain and your sense of loss as well. Okay, well, actually, Sue, do you want to come and join me?
Oh, I wasn't planning to on this one, but...
Yes, I think you do.
Oh,
And
right, okay, let me just switch this off then.
switch the thing off, and you've got your on. And we welcome to the Steinway Room this evening a very special guest. Here she is on Zoom for the first time. She did her hair, did her makeup.
Yeah, I put some clothes on, actually. You know what it's like when you're working at home.
I think last time you did it in the nude. It's a horrible thought, isn't it?
Or in your PJs.
Oh, it's a terrible thought. The world is definitely not ready for that.
Pam Rhodes, television broadcaster, radio broadcaster, author. Sue, she's got her hand behind me, and she's got her hand, Pam, on my bottom. And it's just inappropriate. It's not appropriate, Pam.
He wishes.
Well, I don't know. Maybe
It's not that kind of show.
Under control. Tough job.
Pam, we welcome you to JV Life in the Steinway Room, and we welcome you back to the JV Life today. And it's a long friendship that we've had since I was young, and with Sue's.
The message is coming through that he's got to budge over
I've got to budge over a bit. Yes, it's been a long time since
How long ago was it that we met? I remember it was in Guildford when I was recording you as a guest.
That's correct.
On Songs of Praise, wasn't it?
It was 1989.
Yes.
It was 1989. So this was now 32 years.
Yes.
And
I remember being so moved by your story of how you came to faith and very sudden illness and how people prayed for you. And you were aware of that, however low you were physically and you know, in unconscious, weren't you, at that time? But you were aware of the prayers. I've never forgotten that story.
No, it was very, at that time, 1989, I just started a career 4 years before as an opera singer and fallen very seriously ill with viral encephalitis. And that, when you met me, I was conducting the choir at Millmead.
You were at the church that we were doing the recording in.
That's right. And we were doing, and they suddenly said to me, somebody said, does anybody know anybody who can sing a solo?
Well, actually, can I
right.
just make it a little bit more truthful here? Songs of Praise used to go to a town, didn't they? And they would say to the vicars, have you got anyone who's got a story in particular that we can use?
Yep, that's right.
And our vicar said, oh, actually, yes, we've got a singer who was very seriously ill with viral encephalitis, and he was miraculously healed. And so, of course, Songs of Praise thought, oh, actually, that sounds quite interesting. So, as usual, they said, what song would you choose as a sort of meaningful song for your story? And Jonathan said, well, I would sing How Great Thou Art. And they said, oh, well, would you sing it? Would you choose it? You know, would you sing a verse? So at Millmead, he stood up and sang the first verse, and they came up to him and they said, would you sing the whole lot? Because actually that sounds rather good. So,
yeah.
And that became the beginning
of your television career, really.
Yeah, it was. It was exactly that. And actually, and after that, we did about 32, 33 programs over the years. And I did 5 or 6 recordings of How Great Thou Art, most of which you were involved with.
Absolutely. I remember you were with us in the Holy Land. Wasn't that 1999, just before?
Yes.
It was the last Easter of the millennium, wasn't it? Very
was.
Trip, very moving. And to sing How Great Thou Art in the Holy Land must have meant a lot to you.
It was. Now you're doing your interviewing of me. I'm going to interview you. But it did. It did mean a lot. And actually, I thought it was nice that. Do you know what's nice, actually, Pam, is that a friendship that has lasted that long, a professional relationship that turned into something which was just a friendship. It was nice.
Oh yeah.
You know, you're just a nice person, and we get on, and it's fine. I go on your show, you come on my show, and it's and we just chat as friends. And I think actually, I remember going to a farm. Do you remember that?
Absolutely. It was Celebrate 100. It's the diocese that I'm in, which is St Albans.
Yes.
And I was on the committee for this, and we set up this big event, in a farm. And it was tipping with rain. It was August bank holiday. Do you remember? We had
it was horrendous.
Yeah, the bishop in his wellies. There were sheep everywhere. And we were bringing all the chairs. We were all absolutely set up. I had a great time. It was such good fun. But I don't know why anybody came.
No, I didn't get it. I didn't get it. We were all in the barn, weren't we? Massive barn.
Absolutely. Nobody wanted to go out, did they? There were all these events outside, and nobody wanted to leave.
It was so wet out there. I remember it being torrential rain.
I do
it
too.
was, yeah, there you are. Well, obviously God was helping the farmers on that day, but we could have, after 100 years, he could have just, given us a bit of
Pam,
coming back to How Great Thou Art, I also
go
remember it, of course, at the Royal Albert Hall.
Yes,
and I think that the one I remember is the very first of the big sings, which wasn't called that. It was Songs of Praise, Favourite Hymns. And of course, How Great Thou Art is the nation's favourite hymn. And you sang that then. But I have a very funny memory of that Royal Albert Hall. I don't normally wear great big ball gowns, but they sent me out and got me kitted up in this very, very expensive ball gown, which didn't feel a bit like me at all. And I think we started recording about 6 o'clock, and I'd been busy all day long, really. And then at about 5:45, I suddenly thought, I don't think I've been to the loo since this morning. So I thought, I'll nip in now. Well, the thing is that what I had sort of stuffed down the back of my tights was a pack for my earpiece that I could hear what the director was saying to me, and also a pack for my mic. And I don't know quite how it happened, but somehow the pack for my earpiece landed in the loo.
No, it didn't. No.
Do this. Something like 6,000 people outside, and they were just about to announce me. So I went rushing out in this ball gown to the sound people that were at the back. I said, I'm very sorry, but I've dropped my piece of pack down the back. And they went, was it before or after? And they literally, it's very glamorous, the job I'm in. They literally bent me over, pulled this great ball gown up over my head, were stuffing things in and out down my tights. They literally just put it back down as I got onto the stage, and a voice said, please welcome Pam Rose. And I went,
Pam Rose. All right.
Then I've forgotten what I was going to say right now. But anyway, it was all okay. Hopefully nobody noticed. But it's one of those moments, isn't it, when it wasn't quite all right on the night.
Well, in which case, I'll share my story of that very evening, which was How Great Thou Art.
Yes.
And I'm standing, and you've had, hello there, all my fans. It was, what was his name? Daniel O'Donnell. And people were throwing their underwear at him during the evening. And talking of underwear, not your underwear, I might say, because that was wet. It was horrible, So anyway, right, we're there, and I'm standing in the bull ring, and I'd done it. I don't know that place I'd sung in so many times as an opera singer, and I was waiting in the wings to go on. And it just underneath the stage as you come, as you walk up, that walk of death, and you're thinking, this is when you think I should have been an estate agent. Anyway, and I'm
like my mother.
I'm standing there, and I'm just doing, oh Lord my God, just trying to remember the first line. And the executive producer came. He stood by me. I can't remember what his name was at the time, but he stood next to me, and he wasn't out in the audience. He stood next to me. And he said, they had massive viewing figures. They were going to have, he said, we're going to have about 14 million people watching this. He said, we're going out to 3 countries. We're recording it for a CD and a DVD. And he looked at me. He said,
no pressure.
He said, you won't go wrong, will you? That's actually what he said to me. And the next thing was you saying, Mr. Jonathan Vera. And that's honestly, and you know what? I walked out, and you can see it now. You can actually see, when you look at I came out and I didn't know what the first word was. I didn't know what the first word of "Oh Lord, my God," and I went out there, dun dum pum pa, da dee da dee da dun dun da 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 dee da da, and I opened my mouth and went, "Oh Lord, my God," that was it, and it was just because I went, "Oh," I didn't know what the first word was, and the second word after I remembered it.
Sometimes in a live situation like that, I've often felt, as they're counting down. And you get to 3 and it all goes quiet. I'm thinking, I don't know what my name is. But Jonathan, I always say a little prayer before I go on, and that's be in my head and in my understanding. And I know that sometimes words come out of me that are nothing to do with me. That song, Make Me a Channel? Yes. Well, that's what I am. And words come down that channel quite often. And I can rely on that now, that actually I'm not doing it on my own.
No, and that's interesting, actually. I was speaking to other broadcasters. They say a similar thing. Cindy Kent says often, doing a live show constantly when she was doing it week after week, that she wouldn't always know what she... And people say to me here, do I know what I'm going to say? I don't always. And we haven't planned any of this, apart from to say, we wanted to talk about how great they were. That was it. But apart from that, we just go, we talk as friends, and we just go, let's have a chat. Because people, I think what they do, they prefer that to something that's regimented. I know you rehearse your lines before you do something when you're doing something that has to be 1 minute, 30 seconds.
I tell you why. That's because, I usually write all my own scripts or whatever. And if I've written a script, it's in my head. I've got a mind like a parrot. I just remember things very, very easy. I rarely ever use autocue, but if someone else has written it and they want it word perfect, that doesn't always flow as naturally, and they always want it verbatim. So I do always have to make sure
was that the case that they always did they want you to write the script out for them that you were going to say?
Usually they would say these are the facts to go in. I would normally write it. Usually it would be okay, but you'd occasionally get a producer who just wanted it said in a different way, or who'd already written it. And it could, the trouble is that some people write as if it's a report. You either write words to be read, or you write words to be heard. And actually the words to be heard are better if you just write them in your head. But as soon as you put it down on paper, you write it properly, and it doesn't always sound as natural if you haven't written it yourself. So if it's a script that someone else has written, yes, I do walk around in a circle and make sure I've got it absolutely verbatim.
Did you enjoy, it's interesting because how many years have you been? I looked at the pictures online. My granddaughter was in the car when I phoned you. I was in my little sports car at the front of the house, and she loves going in there. And so I phoned you this afternoon from there, and she said, she's 4 years old. She said, "Who's that speaking?" So I said, "Oh, that's Pam Rose, who I'm going to interview tonight." And so she said, "What does she look like?" So I had to Google you. I just pressed Google images, and up come all the Getty images and the various, public images that you've had over the years. And she was saying things like, "I love her necklace. She's very glamorous, isn't she, Granddad?" And she said, "I like the way she looks."
Oh, great! But I'm going to go a long way.
And it was lovely. But more to the point, when I looked at the pictures, I saw those pictures go back a long way.
Well, I started presenting in 1974, actually, for a school series for Thames Television, and very quickly got picked up by Festival British Forces Broadcasting Service, that they were recording programmes in the UK, in London, and then for Anglia. And before I knew it, because I had a current affairs background anyway, I was presenting the local evening news programme at Anglia for 2 days a week. And I did that for 7 years, and lots of other things as well. I've been a jobbing presenter since 1974. That's a long time. So and on Songs of Praise since 1987. So that's...
Go back a bit. You talked about being news. Your background was in news. And current affairs.
On the local evening news programme in London, I was the programme secretary with Eamon Andrews when he was...
Eamon Andrews!
My first job. And then I became the programme organiser on This Week, the documentary series, So what does that mean? Film crews into countries when everybody else was trying to get out. Fantastic job. someone asked me if I'd like to do an audition for Magpie when Sue Strength's
Yeah.
And I hadn't honestly ever thought about that really, but I thought, well, it's something to, to remember, to do an audition. And I remember I had a parrot perched on my finger, and they asked me things like, would you jump out of a plane? Yes. Would you have a spider crawling? Yes. I didn't get the job, which was just as well, but they wanted a named actress. But I got stopped by a producer of a school series called The World Around Us, and he had 10 programs to be made in the year, and I had to make a decision about giving up this fantastic job on This Week to have 10 programs a year paid at £100 a program.
Oh my goodness.
Not to live on. But I never looked back. I thought, I'll do this for a year, then I'll go back to a proper job, and here I still am. Haven't found me out yet.
No, hey, baby. This is 30, how many years now? Yeah, nearly the same, 35, 37 years. And it's actually that imposter thing where you think, they'll find out soon, I can't do it. Exactly. And actually, you can do it, and you do it so well. You became the face of an awful lot of television for a lot of people. That was
because I never had that sort of searing ambition to be on the screen. It was never about being a television presenter, and certainly not about being well known. Never has been, never will be. I think I'm just naturally curious, and I can't think of anything nicer than being able to meet lots of interesting people with great experiences to talk about, and especially on Songs of Praise, incredibly moving conversations I've had. Wonderful people. How wonderful. And to have the chance to walk into their house and say to them, what was it like when you lost your daughter? The kind of thing your neighbour may not ask you, your best friend might not ask you. And it's always made for quite an intimacy with the people that I've met. And a lot of them I kept in touch with, because there is a kind of instant bond between someone that you share that kind of stuff with thousands and millions watching around the world. It's been very, very special to have the chance.
Do you have a particular memory that is a fond memory? Because I think actually a lot of people, what we do is to most people is quite glamorous. The Knickers episode would say not, and I always tell them about the things that went dreadfully wrong, of which there are so many in live theatre and television, but mainly things went wrong in. Do you remember when all the lights went out when we were at Liam? Was it in Manchester? Do you remember that?
Was it Lime Park?
We were live. It was a Lent series, and yes, we lost everything, didn't we? That was
everything.
Darcy from he walked out of that lake, didn't he? In that shirt.
Yes.
We were. Unfortunately, he didn't turn up that morning.
No, he didn't. I tried to take my shirt off, but they said no, keep it on.
It wasn't quite the same. But you're asking me about fond memories. I mean,
go on, give us some.
That spring to mind. One of them was meeting Dolly Parton, and she's about this high on me, and what a wonderful character, lovely. She looked brilliant. It was 8:30 in the morning, and she looked fantastic. Great interview. And at one point, she said, my mama told me that when I was a younger woman, that I should never go to church in a skirt that's too short. So she said, I haven't been to church since. And yet she was a great Christian woman, and she writes all these fantastic songs. So obviously tongue cheek, but what a lovely, lovely lady. But then the other event, or really iconic moment that I can remember, is the day that Princess Diana died. Yeah. And it was a Sunday, the last Sunday in August, do you remember? And I was actually sitting in a wood in Suffolk doing an interview for Songs of Praise that morning with a man who was planting lots of trees for future generations. And the call came through that we were going to do a programme that night in St Paul's Cathedral, and and that it was going to be live. Yeah. So I had to literally belt down in my ways, and the farming gear I was in, and clothes met me, a respectful suit. And I'll never forget or be more proud of being part of the BBC team that day, because out of nowhere they created a wonderful occasion, because it's our job on situations like that, when the whole country is shocked, when there's just so much that people are talking about and worried about and shocked by, to put that into some sort of Christian context, to almost put it into a prayer. And after a day when there are so many words, so much commentary, so many people taking a news view of it, that actually Songs of Praise has a different role. And within an hour or two, we'd organised a congregation, more than 1,000 people in that church. And they lit St. Paul's Cathedral that normally takes 3 days. It took 3 hours. And the choir was brought in from Cambridge because the St. Paul's choir was on holiday. And the sense of moment when I introduced that programme to a church full of people, through which there was a stunned silence. People came in quietly and they said nothing. What I remember, two things, was that in that programme, while the choir was singing, the plane carrying Diana's body, I could hear in my earpiece, was about to land in England. And there was obviously a lot of argy-bargy going on with the BBC news editors saying, look, we've got to go to this, we want to go to this. And someone, actually the senior news editor, who subsequently I've met and who's become a vicar, would you believe it, he said, no, let's just keep the picture of the plane, but keep the music from St. Paul's. And it was incredibly moving. And then at the end of the programme, again with stunned silence, that whole great church emptied. And the choir went home, the clergy went home, and it was just me and the BBC lot clearing everything up. And we watched as the church filled up again. And, because at difficult times when there are big questions, you want to be in a church. There's something about it. So it filled up again, and there was nobody there to minister to them. And suddenly, and I have no idea who this was or where it came from, but unaccompanied, and a way that just brought everyone to silence, was a young woman's voice singing, "Be still, for the presence of the Lord, the Holy One."
Oh my goodness.
And I tell you what, after all that day of words and all of the pomp of it all, that was so disarming. I bawled my eyes out along with everybody else in that cathedral. I'll never ever forget that. A wonderful occasion, very special.
What an extraordinary memory. I didn't know that about, and I have to tell you, we watched that day. It's one of it seared into my memory because I'd met Diana at an opera. She hated opera, and she watched this opera, and it was and it's a funny story how we talked for probably about 8 minutes at the end, at the lineup. I was the last person to be presented, and we ended up talking about life and how much she hated opera, but how much she'd enjoyed me making her laugh and all of that stuff thing. But when she died, it was such a total shock to me, because I spoke as I found, and actually I found her to be engaging, funny, stunning, absolutely stunning. And she called me a lunatic, and I loved that.
Very
woman of insight.
Woman,
Yes, exactly. But that day was filled. I didn't see the Songs of Praise. I think there'll be a recording of it now. Now you've maybe want to go and get a recording of it because it was a memorable day. Do you find? Sorry, Sue. Did you want to?
No, carry on.
I just wanted to ask about, just finally, really, within the Songs of Praise, people who are of no faith and want to get it removed from the schedule, they call it anachronistic, and it's useless. It doesn't serve a purpose in a modern society. What do you say to people like that?
I know how many people have said to me, how many letters I've had, for whom that could be the only Christian content that they have available to them. I mean, it's different now, isn't it? Because obviously churches have proved how easy it is to take church services
online
into our homes. But then the only Christian programme on broadcasting at all in this country, television. Broadcasting. And the number of, well, you'll all know people where a vicar goes along to do a funeral, and the daughter will say, well, mum never went to church, but she always watched Songs of Praise.
That's right.
We're not there only for the Christians, and you sow seeds, you never know where they're going to land. You never know what's going on in people's homes. The number of people who wrote in and said, my dad heard that song sung, we had Songs of Praise on his favourite programme when he passed away. I should think maybe 12 times I've heard the same thing. So you never know how it's received. You only know that Songs of Praise is something very special in people's lives.
Well, I think actually to clarify that, we were travelling back from Loch Lomond.
You were?
From a gig in Scotland some years ago, and a woman phoned my phone. Sue answered it, and she said, my husband, who was a devout atheist for years and years and years, he saw you singing from the desert, How Great Thou Art.
Oh, I remember that program.
Right, remember?
Yeah.
And she said, I saw you singing that. She said, and he sat in his chair, devout atheist, had never been to church. And he suddenly turned to us, tears streaming down his face. He said, that man means what he says. He said, I need to find out more. And he went to his local church, became a Christian, died some 5 years later, but found faith from just listening to the words of How Great Thou Art on TV. So I will never. Do you remember that call?
I do remember that call, and I remember being incredibly moved at how something that you do, and you just do your best, and that's what you've always done, Pam. You've always done this amazing program of just chatting to people and just doing what you do so beautifully, and just drawing people's story out.
One really sort of humbling story. I remember us doing a live broadcast, a very hairy live broadcast that had a lot of things to go wrong, and a live satellite link up with the Kurdish camps when they were in danger. Do you remember? And it was all very, going on in my ear. I never knew if things were coming up. It was a real live. It came out of Coventry Cathedral at the back, walked out the back. And a lady came running up to me, pushing a man in a wheelchair. And she said, I'm so glad I saw that you were live here. This is my friend. He came off his bike. This was a year ago. He hit his head. And since then, he's not been able to speak and he can't walk. But I've just brought him down here so that you can lay hands on him and heal him.
Oh.
Unfortunately, the producer of Songs of Praise, a minister himself, a Methodist minister, lovely man, was walking along with me, and he saw I was sort of, to think that you have that kind of impression on people, and and he was with me, and we just all held hands and prayed together, and that was quite a humbling experience.
You've been a wonderful influence on so many people, and we're so thrilled that you are a friend of this program, because
Definitely.
so many people watch this now, and so many people listen to your program as well, Hearts and Voices, and a lot of people listen to both.
Yes,
Absolutely, and we have some lovely people who heard about Jonathan on your program, and then also tuned into this one. So that was lovely.
So Pam, as a final act for tonight, for you, can you do what you do best, which is do an introduction into kind of do one of your TV introductions. You'll go back over there, turn on the piano.
Pam.
Okay.
And you do one of your lovely introductions for the song that you picked for me to sing tonight.
All right. Okay.
Thank you so much for coming in.
Oh, it's lovely. Well, having been on Songs of Praise for 33 years, in all of those years, the programme has done a poll to find the nation's favourite hymn, probably every couple of years, and it's always come out the same. It has always been that wonderful hymn, How Great Thou Art. And over the years, I've never heard it sung more beautifully than by Jonathan Vera.
Thank you, Pam.
Oh Lord my God, when I in awesome wonder consider all the works thy hand hath made, I see the stars, I hear the mighty thunder, I bow throughout the universe displayed, and sings my soul And when I think that God his Son not sparing sent him to die, I scarce can take it in that on the cross my burden gladly bearing, he bled and died to take away my sin. And sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. And sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. When Christ shall come with shout of acclamation and take me home, what joy shall fill my heart, and shall I bow in humble adoration, and I proclaim, my God, how great thou art. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. And sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. It's a small song, that, isn't it?
Well, again, I have to say that whenever Jonathan sings that, I'm incredibly moved. And those of you who've seen Jonathan doing his one-man show, you will know that he quite often finishes an evening with something like How Great Thou Art, because it just says everything that you want it to say without having to explain it, really. So thank you. That was lovely. And a lot of people really enjoyed that, really enjoyed it. Going to dedicate this one to Rachel Eves. Rachel, you're watching from your hospital bed. We're thinking of you and really longing for you to be able to get better and be able to come home soon. So God bless you, Rachel, listening from your hospital bed. This one is for you.
I want Jesus to walk with me. I want Jesus to walk with me. All along my pilgrim journey.
I want Jesus to walk with me. Oh, in my trials, walk with me. In my trials, oh Lord, walk with me. When the shades are falling, I want Jesus to walk with me. In my sorrows, walk with me. In my sorrows, oh Lord, walk with me. Oh, when my heart is aching, I want Jesus to walk with me. In my joys, walk with me. On my joys, walk with me. When my life is filled with laughter, I want Jesus to walk with me. And in my trials, walk with me. In my sorrows, walk with me. And my joys, walk with me. I want Jesus to walk with me.
Well, that would have woken up all the cats and dogs that fell asleep during the show.
That's the
Insta arrangement.
And
Yes.
that is on the new album with the wonderful Bryn Howarth playing, Mark Edwards, myself, Bryn. It's a beautiful, beautiful version on the new album. And we also do My Funny Valentine, Sweet Comic Valentine, a beautiful jazz version with Mark and his and the quartet. You make me smile with my heart. That one. And one of my favourite all-time gospel songs, written by my fantastic friend Paul Field, and what a talent this was, written out of pain. God of the moon and stars, God of the near and far, God of the fragile hearts we are, I come to you. God of the history, God of the future that will be, What will you make of me? I come to you, God of the meek and mild, God of the reckless and the wild, God of the unreconciled, I come to you, God of our life and death, God of our secrets unconfessed, God of our every living breath, I come to you, God of our joy and grief, God of the lawyer and the thief, God of our faith and unbelief, I come to you, God of the wounds we bear, God of the deepest dreams we share, God of our unspoken prayer, I come to you, God of a world that's lost, God of a lonely, lonely cross, God who has come to us, I come to you. And it's a beautiful orchestral version, isn't it?
It's a beautiful version, and I dedicate that tonight to our dear friends Peter and Tanya Holloway. They have had a ghastly time. Poor Tanya's had a very difficult operation. She was very poorly before she had it, and they've had a tough time, and they're still going through it. But I always think of you guys with that song, because Peter, every time we do a concert for Prison Fellowship, we sing that song because it's so appropriate for all the people that you minister to. So there we are. That one is for you, lovely people.
Don't forget this one, which is these are the moments
I love this.
that we love so well. Precious moments caught within a spell. All too soon our lives, they fade away. These are the moments that we wish would stay. And if I had my life to live again, I would choose to be with you, my friend. Time moves slowly and it goes so fast. Who knows how long the days will last? So cherish deep within you the love you get today. Let the moment linger, for tomorrow steals that way. Tomorrow steals that away. These are the memories that we made so well. Lives like stories that we long to tell. When we're old with not too much to say, we'll have the memories that we made today. We'll have the memories that we made today. And that's what the album's called, Moments.
It is indeed.
From Bryn Howarth, a song written in 1973.
But
and he phoned me up and said, just before we went to the studio, and said, would you record this? And this is such a beautiful song. And it finishes the album, apart from one bonus track, which was Just Around the Bend, written by
which
Paul
was
Field
for
and I.
Val. Val, I know you wanted Just Around the Bend, so that one was for you.
Can I just sing? I think I have to sing.
You have two songs that you have to
I
sing.
have to sing, which is
King of My Heart.
King of My
and
Heart.
Great is Thy
Oh,
Faithfulness.
yes.
Marion Gaff, you asked for this one in particular, and I think it's very appropriate for a lot of people. So for you and for all the people that are struggling with lockdown just going on and on, particularly those in Leicester, just so many weeks in lockdown, almost a whole year now. And so this one is for you.
When I feel I can't go on, I need to know that I belong. When everything right seems wrong, you carry me. When the road ahead is tough and I'm so close to giving up, I fall into your arms and you carry me. You watch over me every step I take, every breath I make. I believe you watch over me every step I take, every breath I make. I believe. Oh, I give all I am to you, and I trust you see me through. Deep down I know you love me from the start, and if all the world around me was to fall apart, I always have you as king of my heart. You make all the flowers grow. You're the footprints in the snow when my strength has gone. You are the melody, every glorious song. You watch over me every step I take, every breath I make. I believe you watch over me every step I take, every breath I make. I believe. Oh, I give all I am to you. Can I trust to see me through? Deep down I know you loved me from the start. When I was lost, you found me, wrapped your loving arms around me. Deep down I know, deep down I know, you're king of my heart, king of my heart. When did the last sing that one?
That was lovely. That was very nice. And for those of you who spotted the lost chord that was found, it was indeed his award, leaping off the piano onto the keys. So I think we might have the award by me in future. You can have something unbreakable. You didn't flinch. You didn't flinch. Amazing.
And now we're going to do, I think, the one that you're going to sing with me, which is our song, isn't it?
Yes, we had this at our wedding, and this is for Terry and... Oh, Terry, I don't think I know your wife's name. So, Terry and Mrs. Brown, it's your 52nd anniversary this week. So, this is for you because I believe you had it at your wedding, and as did we, and probably a lot of other people. So, everyone just join in.
And we did this on Hymns Project too, didn't we?
We did.
Great is thy faithfulness, O God, my Father. There is no shadow of turning with thee. changes not, thy compassions, they fail not, as thou hast been, now forever will be. Great is thy faithfulness, great is thy faithfulness, morning by morning, new mercies I see. All I have needed, thy hand has provided. Great is thy faithfulness, Lord, unto me. Summer and winter and springtime and harvest, sun, moon, and stars in their courses above join with all nature in manifold witness to thy great faithfulness, mercy, and love. Great is thy faithfulness, great is thy faithfulness, morning by morning, new mercies I see. All I have needed, thy hand hath provided. Great is thy faithfulness, Lord, unto me. Pardon for sin and a peace that endureth, thine only presence to cheer and to guide, strength for today and bright hope for tomorrow. Blessings all mine with 10,000 beside. Great is thy faithfulness, great is thy faithfulness, morning by morning, new mercies I see. All I have needed, thy hand hath provided. Great is thy faithfulness, great is thy faithfulness, great is thy faithfulness, Lord, unto me. And that was actually also for the Southgates, David and Ruth Southgate, who were very lovely, and they sent us a cheque this week.
That was very
And,
kind
that
of
was
them.
very kind of
And
them.
also
and we came to them over in Norfolk.
Helen Thomas, that one is also for your dad, who is 80 this week, I believe. We were praying for him earlier on in the year for his hip, and we now celebrate with him for his birthday this week.
And so, all right, we've got one more.
Time has come.
I've got to do this. Are we going to be 5 minutes late? You ready?
Sorry, people.
Here's life in all its mystery, the beauty and the tragedy, the silence and the symphony, and everything between. And deep inside the heart of man, the need to know and understand we a part of some great plan or just a passing dream? Philosophers philosophize, but rarely look you in the eyes. And politics is compromise that rides the ebb and flow. Money talks and fashion screams to fill the space inside your dreams. If you want something to believe, I'll tell you what I know. My maker is my savior, my creator. He's also my friend, and to find him and his favor is all that matters in the end. Oh, my maker is my savior, my creator, is also my friend, and to find him and his favor is all that matters. He's all that matters. He's all that matters. In the end.
And that one is for Bren and Douglas Bentley, I believe. You mentioned that one, so that one is for you.
I've done a lot of singing tonight, Sue.
You have, and people have been very encouraged and helped and uplifted tonight, which is good to hear. It's good to hear that something good is happening from tonight.
That is good. That is good, isn't it? Because I think people have... I think these days are difficult. I'm going to finish by saying this. These days of waiting. Waiting is probably, you know, it's an Advent thing, and it's waiting for the coming. And we're saying we're desperate to meet with people. And it was an article I saw, and it was about the shutting down. What's happening is that we're shutting down as human beings, and it's difficult because our natural habitat is to be in community. And the reason this probably has been successful over this year, because it's coming up to 50 broadcasts,
yes.
One whole year come Easter Sunday. Mm-hmm. And can I just announce that we will be doing, I'm going to plan it this week, we'll be doing a reflection on Good Friday. It will be probably an hour. It will not be a concert. It will be reflection. There will be no requests. It will just be a service of reflection. I'll get various people to contribute. And then on Easter Sunday, we will do an Easter Sunday service. And then we'll sing a few songs afterwards. So we'll do very much like we did at Christmas.
Tried to do it at Christmas.
And we'll try to do it live and see what happens, see where we go. We rely on the tech team an awful lot, and we want you to send in your thanks to them each week, which you do. For Rachel, for Claire, for Ben. Claire has done a sterling job on the design, as you have seen, of the album. Have you seen that?
Beautiful, yes. We've had it up once, but we're going to have it up
again.
Have it up again
now. Let's have it up again now. And Sue,
Absolutely.
can you do some notices now?
I can do some notices now. So, as you can see, our beautiful new album, Moments, Lockdown Sessions 2, is up there on the screen, and it is available through our shop on www.jonathanvera.com to pre-order. It should be arriving in my hot little hand probably in about a week's time. So I will be working along with Ruth to get them out to
John
you.
Greenwood.
John Greenwood's will be first in the post box. So we will be working on those. So you should have it by Easter. That's my plan, that it will be with you by Easter.
Can we reiterate something, please? Those that contributed...
Indeed.
Those that contributed to the crowdfunding, this is our gift to you. Mm-hmm. We've been blessed greatly by this community financially, and we paid for everything, and everything's being cleared out of the funds to make sure that we get this to you, and that is what it costs a lot to reproduce and to then post out as well. But we are giving you that. Therefore, any other extra copies is where we make a little bit of money. So if you do order extra copies, that would be fantastic. If you can't afford to,
please don't.
Please do not.
Don't,
Just accept the copy that we've given you, And if you cannot afford to buy one,
let us
but
know.
you'd like one, then we will give it to you. All right? We'd rather you had it and got blessed and got encouraged by these songs. They're lovely songs. And so there's two albums together.
If you're curious, you want to know a little bit more, you can go onto the shop, which is, as you've got on the screen there, it's www.jonathanvera.com. And if you click onto the shop, then on each of the items that you click onto, you can actually listen to little clips of the songs and so on. So you can listen to some of them beforehand, which is lovely.
All of them beforehand.
You can listen to all of them, but we can't listen to the whole song. That's the point.
20 seconds or so.
Yeah, something like that. So, yes, and thank you to those of you who've been very, very kind and who've donated to the stuff that we do, and we are so grateful to everything that you do. If you would like to give us a gift, then it's paypal.me/JonathanVera, or you can email me at sue@jonathanvera.com, and I will give you the bank details. But again, please don't give if you can't afford to give.
They're absolutely
That's
crucial.
really important to us.
Really important right now. That you cannot give, we will live. What's beautiful is if a few people, lots of you give a $5, that's fine. We survive, and we've survived this year because of you.
And that has been marvellous.
But we cannot and we will not be taking any money from anybody. We are not televangelists, all right?
No.
We're not trying to rip you off like some other God channels try to do. We are not doing that, and we don't want you to pay.
And anything that you do give us, we give away 25% of that. And this week we will be giving it to the Got a Friend Trust, because we know that we've been using a lot of that money this week. And so that's what we will give the funds to this week. And so on the at JV Live Tech link, which is on the stream here that you can see, there are many, many, many notices. So they will have notices about Pam Rhodes, about Colin, and all the Christians Against Poverty, all those important details. Please, if when he was talking about it you thought, oh, actually I could use some help, please don't put it off, do it. If you want some of us to help you in how to approach them, then we are happy to do that. But
contact us.
Just
directly.
Contact them or contact us, because you heard what he said. It's never too soon and it's never too late. So please don't just let this opportunity go by. But all that information will be on the Live Tech link, plus more about us and about the new single and about donations and the Got a Friend Trust. So they're all there for you. All those notices are there for you to have a look at. So no worries, it's just there for you.
Go peaceful in gentleness through the violence of these days. Give freely, show tenderness in all your ways.
Faithfulness burn like a flame.
God speed you, God lead you, and keep you wrapped around His heart. May you be known by love.
Speak truthfully in a world of greed and lies. Show kindness, see everyone through heaven's eyes.
God hold you, enfold you, and keep you wrapped around His heart. May you be known by love.
Godspeed you, Joan, as you go into surgery this week to have your op done. We'll be thinking of you and praying for you as you go through that.
We also think of Leslie Sutton tonight.
We do. Our dear friend
Continued
Leslie.
treatment, chemo, and God bless you, darling. And we sing this blessing, very old blessing from the Old Testament, Numbers chapter 6, the Aaronic blessing it's called, and it goes like this. Every week we've sung it. The Lord bless you and keep you. And we hope you're going to sing this when you get back to church,
Indeed.
the JV version. The Lord make his face to shine on you. The Lord bless you and keep you and give you his peace. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine on you. The Lord bless you and keep you and give you his peace and give you his peace. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord turn his face toward you. The Lord bless you and keep you and be gracious to you. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord turn his face toward you. The Lord bless you and keep you and be gracious to you and be gracious to you. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine on you. The Lord bless you and keep you and give you his peace and give you his peace. And we send blessings out
We do.
to Miami, to Canada, to Australia,
And beyond, and people
St.
who
Vincent
are
and the
living
Caribbean, yes.
in this country. Do not forget that your clocks go forward next week.
Oh, do they?
So make sure you put them forward or you might miss the first hour of our show.
And you can't have that.
We
God bless
mustn't
you.
have that.
See you
Love
soon.
lots.
Bye.
Bye.